Hi everybody and welcome back to another episode of Ranting and Raving with Kevin. And boy, am I going to piss off the Nintendies today because I just finished watching the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. And that was one of the most mid shows I've ever seen in my entire life. In fact, I would say that the Switch Direct from the previous week where we saw Raidu Kusunoha getting remastered, the Dragon Quest games, things like that, that was a better show and more worthwhile than the Switch 2 reveal. Like, there's more things I'm interested in from that Direct than this Direct. But anyway, let me begin by first saying, I am not a Nintendo fan. Although I do own a Switch and have owned the previous Nintendo consoles like the Wii, the GameCube, and most of the handheld consoles. Actually, I'll go out on a limb and say the 3DS is the best Nintendo console, even better than the Switch. And Nintendo has always, especially in recent years, has always been, you go there for their exclusives. You go there for Mario, you go there for Zelda, Pokemon, Metroid, Donkey Kong, those games. Because they're Nintendo properties. You're not going to get them on the PS5, you're not going to get them on Xbox, and I guess you can get them on PC through emulation, but you get the idea. So, you go to Nintendo for their exclusives, they've prided themselves on them forever. And I just can't fathom the idea of playing multi-platform games on the Switch. One of the things that really boggled the mind after watching the show and then seeing people talk about it on Twitter was the fact that Final Fantasy VII Remake, a 5-year-old game, is going to be released on the Switch too. Why the hell would you play Final Fantasy VII Remake on the Switch 2 when, number one, the game's already been out for 5 years? If you're interested in Final Fantasy and that whole series, whatever, you've already played it. I already played it. I played it on the PS4. And at this point, you can play it on the PS4, PS5, PC, and maybe Xbox. I'm not quite sure. Although, I do remember Square Enix talking about how they've been wanting to port games over to the Xbox because they realize, PlayStation exclusives don't sell anymore unless it's God of War and those stupid games. But regardless, so obviously, the Nintendo Switch needed an upgrade to Nintendo Switch 2 because the original Switch released, I think, back in 2017. So we're getting close to 10 years. I mean, it's not that this even really matters to me, but I'm just stating the facts. It's 720p. It needs to go with the times and try to catch up to the PS5, Xbox, and PC. But at the end of the day, doesn't need to do too much because the core games there, you see on the left there, that's Donkey Kong from the new trailer. The core games have that aesthetic where it's the cel-shaded, anime art style, chibi, whatever. And so it doesn't need ultra realism like Last of Us or God of War or Horizon. It doesn't need that, and it never will. So okay, bump it up to 1080p. I think there's a way you can do 4K, or maybe that's just the screen. I just finished watching it, so most of it's sort of glazed over. But you get the idea. It needs some sort of upgrade from 720p to look better, but at the end of the day, has the classic Nintendo graphics. Now, the biggest problem I have is the fact that these games are going to be ranging in price, where we have the new Mario Kart game retailing for $80. $80 for fucking Mario Kart, which is unacceptable, because let me say this again. The Switch games, they launched right now for $60. Most of the big AAA games, like most recently Assassin's Creed, that just came out, retails for $70 on the PS5 and the Xbox. But then you'll get some other games like Astro Bot, which retail for $60 at launch. So now we have fucking Mario Kart bumping it up to $80, paving the way for Grand Theft Auto 6, $100. You get what you fucking deserve. And this is why I'm done buying new games. It makes no sense when, well, Nintendo, actually, they never really get price cuts. I mean, Breath of the Wild will still sell for $40 at Best Buy. But typically with most new games, you wait 6 months to a year, they go down in price. I know Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, which just celebrated the 1-year anniversary, was selling for $30. Originally, I think, a $60 game, so it's cut in half. So if you wait a while, you always get a price cut. But to me, it's just despicable. And it's just taking advantage of people because the Nintendies, mind you, the same people who will buy a cardboard box and an alarm clock that says Nintendo on it and defend it to the day they die as they gargle, Nintendo's ball sack in their mouth. It's just despicable, and they're going to put up with this. I'm not, because I don't care about Mario Kart. Like, at the end of the day, really, the only thing that'll get me to buy a Switch 2 is, I guess, Xenoblade Chronicles 4. It's unbelievable. So I do have some other things to show you. Again, here's the Nintendo Switch 2, going to be available on June 5th, so in a couple of months. And the console is going to retail for $450, which isn't terrible. It's not bad at all. I think the regular Switch, which again is almost 10 years old, that still sells for $300. And they have a bundle. I was just ranting about Mario Kart's price, but they have a bundle of $500, and you get Mario Kart at launch. So the price point's fine. It's cheaper than the PS5 and the Xbox. Although I think doesn't the discless PS5, that might be cheaper, but you get the idea. So yeah, you can get it for $450. You get it with Mario Kart. Hopefully it's a physical game. There's the Direct there. Mario Kart World. Donkey Kong Bonanza, which I think this is an open world. I hate open world games, but this is open world Donkey Kong if you're into that. And then this is the other thing too. So Metroid Prime Beyond, that's coming out soon. And it's going to release on the Switch and the Switch 2. So wait a minute. The Switch version is going to be $60, and then the Switch 2 version will be $80. And then same thing with this. Was this game released, was it 2 years ago now? Some time ago. Are they going to try and sell this for $80 as well? Hades 2? Who gives a fuck about these? Why are we advertising these two slop games? I mean, get the hell out of here. So, oh, and that's the other thing. Party chat and the mic. This thing's like $100 still. Like, can't I just plug in my own mic that I'm talking to right now into the console and talk that way if I so choose? But my God, it showed that they have voice chat, which it was lagging to hell. So Nintendo's always had terrible online features. I don't know. So here's where again, they have a whole page for it, but it was just really lagging. So I figure I'll show you Wario 64's page. $80 fucking dollars. I mean, let's just see what they say. Nintendo really trying to make sure the $100 AAA game thing becomes reality. Well, again, you get what you deserve, bro. I mean, you want to do that? Drink your ice soup. Oh, we're going to blame Trump. Blame Trump! Oh, it's all his fault. Of course they'll find a way to blame Trump. Oh, my God. So here's Donkey Kong Bonanza, which, by the way, this is launching on June 5th, on the same day. So then the next month, July, you get Donkey Kong Bonanza. Now, riddle me this, Batman. Why is this $10 cheaper? And another thing about Mario Kart, let me just say this as well. Why couldn't it be Nintendo Kart? They're talking about there's like 20 carts all in one. Why not have fucking Link in the cart, have Ganondorf in the cart, Kirby in the cart, have fucking Mithra and Pyre in the cart. Oh no, not the heckin' Booberitos. We can't have that. But it's just crazy, man. So why are we just relegating this to Mario Kart? Which I bet you now that I say that, they'll probably have DLC where they add the other Nintendo characters. Despicable. So this is 60. What are the thoughts here? Yeah, you're never going to recover. Bruh! A bruh moment! Not happy about this, but I can do it. Might have to start getting these games on sale. Yeah, get them on sale! Don't buy games on day one. This is something I've learned, and I've done. I practiced what I've preached. Like, I have a backlog just sitting over there. There's no need, no rush to get these games at launch. Like I said, I'm not buying the Switch 2 until Xenoblade Chronicles 4 or another game that I really need is on there. So the other thing that I thought was absolutely hilarious is the fact that you can pay to rent GameCube games on the Switch 2 with the expansion pass. You know, and this should have happened too because they had the Wind Waker and Twilight Princess originally GameCube games, although Twilight Princess was on the GameCube and the Wii, but it got ported over to the Wii U as the HD remaster. Why the fuck didn't they put these on the Switch when people were begging for them? And yeah, Wind Waker's the best Zelda game, I will say that. Why didn't they put them on the Switch? But now you can pay to rent them for the people that don't know what Dolphin is. So there you go, as well as Soul Calibur 2 and F-Zero GX. And I thought this was funny too because this is another thing people were begging for, which they only show XD, but they showed Pokemon Coliseum and Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. Also, good Pokemon games. Back when Pokemon was actually good, before it all went to shit after Gen 5. But, and this is the game I am most looking forward to. The Bravely Default Flying Fairy Remaster, which this was a 3DS game, if I'm not mistaken. and has great English voice acting. One of the main characters, Adia, is voiced by Cassandra Lee Morris, who's done many roles over the years. So this is the game, after watching the show, my biggest takeaway, this is the game I'm most looking forward to. But I think it'll be available on multiple platforms. I mean, because this is Square Enix. Again, Square Enix is kind of hurting right now because a lot of their games, you know, they spend a bajillion dollars on Final Fantasy VII Remake, and they don't even give you the sales numbers because of how badly it flopped. I bought it. It's still sealed in plastic. I did play the first remake. I did play Rebirth, though. So that's why they're talking about releasing games on Xbox. So I would hazard a guess to say this will release everywhere. And you think this is going to be a Switch 2 exclusive? I mean, maybe it will be, but I guess I'll have to buy the Switch 2 for this game then. But the point of the matter is, I'm just sick and tired. I have hype fatigue. I've actually done videos of the past talking about hype fatigue while, you know, people get excited, and then the next week it's the flavor of the month. In the Nintendo's case, 3 weeks ago, Xenoblade Chronicles X! Xenoblade Chronicles X! Then it was the final direct of the Switch, which for me, Raido Kusunoha and other cool announcements such as that. And then now the Switch 2, and now they're going to be sitting around getting hyped for June 5th. So, but not my problem. I'm playing Tales of Graces F on the PS5. I'm playing Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising. I'm playing Master Duel. And my all-time current favorite game right now, Fate Grand Order. Which, that would have won the direct for me if they said, coming exclusively to the Switch 2, the console version of Fate Grand Order. But anyway, guys, this is all in good fun. I'm sure I'm going to piss people off saying this, but I don't really give a fuck. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I realize I'm probably going to piss off a lot of the Nintendies. They're probably not going to watch the whole video, but my usual viewers will watch the whole thing, and I'm sure they enjoyed this. But it's all in good fun. At the end of the day, I mean, the hardware for the Switch 2, perfectly fine. I give that an A+. You know, it's what was needed. The games, I don't care about. If you're a hardcore Nintendo fanboy, you know, you probably cleaned your pants. More power to you. But, you know, for me, it's it's the Bravely Default remaster for me, dog. So, thanks, guys. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you later. Peace out.
99.